important question for you. Have you ever struggled to fit in or feel like you don't belong anywhere? I know I sure have. Here's the truth. You don't belong everywhere, and that is a good thing. Today we're going to be talking about the need to get up, get out, and not stay in the places where you don't belong. Because when you stop pouring yourself into the wrong places, you free yourself up to thrive in the right ones. And that feels amazing. In case we haven't met yet, I'm Diana, and I help midlife women break free from old patterns, rebuild their confidence, and create a life that they actually love. Now let me tell you, I was the queen of all of those negative beliefs about myself. For most of my life, I felt like I didn't belong, that I'm different than everybody else, that I'm not good enough or I didn't matter. And as a result, I ended up staying in a whole bunch of places where I didn't belong for a very long time, usually way longer than I should have. Except I didn't know that's what I was doing. But it turns out all those negative things I believed about myself weren't actually true. That's what other people had conditioned me to believe, and they did it with criticism, bullying, manipulation, and gaslighting. And they did so for their own selfish gain. One of the most valuable and admittedly most painful lessons of my life is that I don't have to believe what they say about me, and I don't have to stay in those places where these messages are being shared. I believe too many of us spend many years, decades even, trying to fit in places that we just don't belong. Maybe we did belong there at one time, but we've outgrown it, or maybe they've changed and what's going on now no longer aligns with who we want to be, or maybe we just thought they were our people, but they really weren't. Whatever the case may be, we usually end up showing up and giving our all for people who wouldn't even cross the street for us. We offer our wisdom, our talents, our time, and our energy to those who only take and never give back. And you know what that does? It sucks the ever-living life out of us. It erodes our confidence and it makes us question our worth. And sometimes our sanity too, and believe me, I have been there. Especially in this midlife season where many of our old defining roles and responsibilities tend to disappear, staying where you're unappreciated is kind of like watering a dead plant and wondering why it won't grow. No matter how much you pour into that thing, it's just going to get sicker and sicker because it doesn't have what it needs, or it's already too far gone to be salvaged. That's kind of what happened to me, and it's what I did. And I also realized this stuff is pretty subtle. I've stayed way too long in relationships that weren't working, in friend groups that have shifted away from my own values or that I had outgrown. I've also willingly stayed in outright hostile places where I thought I needed to stay to either defend myself, to make my point of view heard, to preach the truth, or to rescue others who didn't know how to get out. What a bunch of hooey! Here's the truth. I'm not for everyone. You're not for everyone. And that is perfectly okay. It's not a flaw. I've learned that that is actually a filter. Because the right people in the right spaces, they don't require you to shrink, to beg, or to prove your worth. They encourage you to be bigger, better, and brighter than you have ever been, or that you even believe you are yourself. So how do you make the shift and start to take back control? It starts with paying attention to how you feel. If you're in a space or with a person, a relationship, a job, a group, or anything else that makes you feel small, dismissed, or unseen, that place is not for you. It's not where you belong. It's also time to stop trying to convince people to see your value. They either know it or they don't, and they're going to see it or they won't. And if they don't recognize it, it's their loss. And a lot of times they do know and they're dismissing you for their own reasons. But either way, it's not your responsibility to stick around and fix it. And what they think of you, honestly, is none of your business. And a lot of times, you're actually better off not knowing. Instead of spinning in circles, let's invest where there's healthy reciprocity. Whether that's in a personal relationship, a business relationship, or even in social media groups. Let's be brave enough to put ourselves into places where there's mutual respect and appreciation, where everyone contributes to the greater good. And when you find you're in the wrong place, give yourself permission to leave. You don't need anyone's approval for you to walk away and to take care of yourself, especially if it's not serving you. I realize it's not always easy as it sounds. There are some situations that do take a lot of planning and preparation and effort to be able to change. And we do absolutely need to pay attention to safety in some others. But now is the time to start working on those things. Because when you stop wasting your energy on places or people who don't value you, something incredibly happens. You reclaim your time, your energy, and your sense of self. And you also have more to pour into relationships and opportunities that pour back to you. And you get to align with people who get you, who appreciate you, and who support your growth. And most importantly, you get to prove to yourself that you really are worthy, not because of what you do for others, but simply because of who you are. I would now love to hear from you. Have you ever stayed somewhere where you didn't belong? What did you learn from it? Drop a comment below and share your wisdom because, when we share our experiences, we help each other grow. So let's keep this conversation going because you deserve to be in spaces where you're valued and seen and heard, and so do I. If you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. If you'd like to learn more about some of the other life lessons I've learned in this wonderful midlife season, especially in my season of healing, check out the last video I did about the 10 things I gave up in my 50s to bring more peace to my life. Feel free to also grab a copy of my self-discovery workbook that's linked below in the description. I'll see you next time. Bye!